There's a quirky, cool new internet show.
In my closet, skeletons in my closet, no bones about it. Won't you share your
Featuring rising stars and living legends too.
Alright. We have a VIP in the room right now. Yeah, it's James Lane, who should be Senator James Lane? Congressman James Lane? What were you running for?
This time I was running for Congress.
Congress.
In 2013, I was running for public advocate. So I think I'll hit every office possible before I get one.
And you will get one, because that's what do they say? If you don't succeed, try again, right? Yeah, exactly. And I just read something the other day. This is my new quote. It's like, set your standards high, and then things will be that way. Something like that. Like, you know,
close.
Yeah. Raise your bar, and your bar will raise. You know, as we're in the Brandon Saloon. I love this bar. So look at you. Stop police terror. March. Which side are you on? Rise Up October. This is a big event. Yeah. It's no joke. It's no joke. Are you scared walking down the street these days?
I've had my times.
Yeah.
I think now that I'm older and bigger, I'm not as, I'm not a target as much, but when I was younger, I was always, abused by cops.
Yeah, so it's not anything new. That it's just, do you think it's because of phones and media that it's now becoming aware, like widespread, like everybody knows what's going on? Like it's not worse. Is it worse or is it the same?
Well, it's funny because last year when we were out in the streets protesting, we said it was like, every day there was a person killed by law enforcement. But then when we did the statistics this year, it was like every 8 hours someone's getting killed.
Oh my God. Now, is it any color being killed? Or?
Yes, it's many colors.
United States?
Yeah, across the U.S. Right
every
now.
Every 8 hours?
Yeah, every 8 hours. And
by a cop?
Yeah, by law enforcement, exactly.
Oh my
And this
God.
doesn't include situations where people are found in their cells by committing suspicious
Oh, that poor
suicide,
girl.
like
Oh,
Bland.
Sandra. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. That is just not right.
Yeah.
That is just, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's something that we're trying. It's an epidemic. It's a pandemic that we're trying to stop.
Now, what do you think can be done here? It's because they're all armed.
Well, I know, and that's the problem with the system is created in such a way that it's set to oppress people.
Right.
Plain and simple. And
to instill fear.
And at the beginning of the show, you talked about how the women got the right to vote by
Right.
having a march, 25,000 people in the streets.
That was in 1915.
Exactly. People, ended slavery. We had the Civil War.
Yes.
We had the Civil Rights Movement. We had gay rights movement. And
Right.
all these movements didn't happen by just sitting at home and clicking like and share on your Facebook page.
Right.
There's people out in the streets.
Right.
So this is what we're talking about. What has to happen for the change to come?
Right.
So you're saying just bring awareness, just getting people out in the streets, bringing awareness to the situation.
So they all need friendship lights.
Well, yeah,
because friendship lights are all about peace.
Friendship lights.
Yeah, it's true. This is Jack.
They're all about peace. What's going on out there is a rough situation.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think there's some good cops out there as well.
There are.
That's what I would like to think. But bringing awareness to this whole thing will just make everything better. The good cops, the bad cops will kind of weed out, and I think we'll get a better society as well.
And the sad part about it is that the good cops are even terrorized in the force.
Yeah.
The good cops
Then
can't come out and
themselves
be
are
good
saying
cops.
that's their scare. Right.
Because look at
It's like
Serpico,
an
Frank
option.
Serpico.
I love that
He
movie.
he was a good cop
Yeah, he
tried to turn in corruption, and
But
he got
they-
shot in the
he
face.
got shot in the face.
Right.
I know. That was in the 70s.
Right.
And I mean, that is like, I saw that movie like within the last year, and I just told someone yesterday to watch it.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. Yeah, because when cops do try to clean up the system, they don't want it like that. Even on Law and Order. I mean, like all these silly movies and shows, like it's very corrupt.
It seems like it's off balance. You got more bad than good, but if you can tip that balance to more good than bad, then that'll
So
change.
when is this, and how do you expect people to really make a change?
Well, it's actually started. It started yesterday, where the first day of action was at Times Square. We had a reading of the names, say their names. And
how many were there?
how many names?
Yeah.
Victim names?
Thousands?
Yeah, there's thousands of names.
Like,
You couldn't even read all
that's
of
what
them
I mean.
in one
Like,
sitting.
how can you even read them?
Yeah, but the most important thing is we brought dozens of families family members of the victims to actually
Wow.
tell their stories and what you, like you said before, education, because that's the biggest
Yes,
tool of
yes.
activism, is to educate people.
Exactly.
And the other tool is to mobilize people out in the
Right.
streets. Another tool is what I try to do: run for office, bring it to the political arena.
Right.
Yes.
And these are the things that we need to do to
Now,
make change.
now the thing that I have question about, I know Black Lives Matter, and it's very important, but like when they make it into All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, what do you think about
How do you
that?
feel about that?
Well, yeah, everybody has that debate.
I know,
You know, and
it's crazy. It's a touchy subject.
Well, the clear point is, all lives will matter when Black lives matter.
right.
You know, when I was,
okay.
you know about me and my congressional run, right?
Yes.
So I was running against Dan Donovan, who was a district attorney that failed to indict Eric Garner's killers on
Right.
the Republican side. And on the Democratic side, I had a candidate that could not say Black Lives Matter.
couldn't even say
He couldn't
it.
even say it. We're at an NAACP candidate forum. He
Right.
could not say Black Lives Matter. And so something's wrong with this world.
Yeah, it is.
So
Because, I mean, it's like, when will we see equality in this world? Do you think we will in our lifetime? I mean, I know we want to, and in a perfect world, that is what we
Yeah.
want. I mean, I never understand. I hate to make this sound like this, but when I've gone to Comic-Con, it's true. I go to Comic-Con, and I see all these people. They're all different
characters, yes. That's a good
colors,
point.
different nationalities, different everything,
Well,
and they're
that's it.
so creative.
Yes.
And it's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are just so creative and don't care about anything except being creative. And it makes me angry that, like, with all this amount of creativity, why is the world where it is
Well,
today?
yeah, I mean, and the biggest problem is the older generation of people that still control situations. They hold power,
Yeah.
money,
You know, they
you know,
have old mindset.
old mindsets. These are things that have to change. You know, we need more people to come out against that. And you know, I've seen family members having these debates.
with each other.
Yeah,
You're saying,
yeah, the families have been breaking up.
Oh, I know. The kids know a whole lot more than the grown-ups. I have kids, and I'm telling you, the things that they raise as issues, they yell at me for even having, like, thoughts of, like, that I don't understand. Like, what do they mean? Like, and they're just like, oh, Mom, no. They're really anti-establishment right now because they see, like, the news, and they see the phones, and they're like, the phones are making it better
Exactly.
by making people aware. And whenever I say maybe it seems worse right now, they're like, no, Mom, it's not worse. It's just more public. And it's always been that way. I'm like, how do you know? Because we do. They know everything, you know? So I want to make a difference. What can we do? What can everybody do?
So, like we said yesterday, we had a big reading of the names in Times Square. Quentin Tarantino came out.
Good for
Wow.
him.
You know,
And
Mark,
he's Mr.
Mark
Blood.
Ruffalo has been a big supporter.
Really?
Harriet
Awesome.
Belafonte, Gina Belafonte, all these celebrities are coming out in support of this. Cornel West, of course, was one of the founders. Today, it was funny that you talk about Sid Vicious committing suicide
Yes,
at
he
Rikers
tried.
Island, because I was at Rikers Island this morning,
Ah.
shutting down Rikers Island, and a couple of our organizers got arrested.
Shutting
for
it
that.
down?
Shutting it down.
Protesting.
What do you mean?
Protesting it, shutting down the main entrance to Rikers Island. We had-
Permanently?
well, we had about, I guess about 100 or so
Wow.
people out there just like laying down in front of riders with
Yeah.
giant signs of faces of the people that, I think it was like 11 people that died at Rikers Island over the last 5 years. You know, and like, for example, some people don't even die in Rikers Island. They
Right.
die after being in Rikers. Like, you know, the story about Khalif Brower.
Yeah.
He, 16-year-old,
Yeah.
you
And he
know,
wasn't even supposed to be
he wasn't even supposed to
there.
be in there, but his family couldn't raise like $3,000 bail.
Right.
And they kept him in there for 3 years without
Oh.
trial.
And he was, and it wasn't it like squashed?
He was it was squashed.
Yeah.
But during his 3 years there, he
It
was
killed
beaten.
him.
Yeah, he was beaten, tortured during those 3 years. And finally, video footage is coming up about everything they did. Hog-tied him, beat him.
And they videoed it?
Well, yeah, because there's cameras in the cells, you know, and everything. So these things are coming out. And when he finally came out and freed him, he couldn't deal
He couldn't
it.
deal.
He took his own life.
Oh, poor baby.
So it's something really, it's sad. And so being there, that energy this morning was just so heartbreaking. But, so that was Friday's action. So yesterday was awareness. Today
Right.
was a civil disobedience to shut it down. A lot of our organizers got arrested. So I'm going to have to probably run a little bit after this.
Oh, get him
Because
out.
I'm actually on the national steering committee for this
Good
march.
for you.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I know he's a VIP. You are, James.
But tomorrow is the highlight.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Washington Square, 11 a.m.
That's your part.
Right?
That's
From
where he
11
goes.
a.m. to 1 p.m. There's going to be a rally. Lots of speakers, family members talking about the situation that we're in. Then we're going to have a march coming up 6th Avenue from Washington Square Park up to Bryant Park, followed by another rally at 3 o'clock. And so we're hoping, personally I would love to get,
$1 million.
I would settle with 100,000. I'd be happy with
But
that.
it is New York. And
It
it's
is
a
New York.
Saturday, and it's going to be
Yeah.
a beautiful day.
Right.
It's going to be, it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, and like we said with this march, it's a clear line in the sand. Which side are you on? I mean, and I get it. People have a debate.
Well, what do you mean? I don't get it. Like, what do you
Right.
mean? Which side are you on? There's only one side. Like,
Well,
what's
you
the
would
other?
think so.
What's the other side? I don't get. What is the other side?
Right. Well, you would think there's
The dark side, I would say.
I don't
because
even
it's all,
know. Right.
it's like the good, or what are you thinking?
I
You know,
just
it
don't
doesn't
even
make
know what
sense.
the other side is.
Right.
To allow brutality to continue? Is that the other side?
Well, it's really weird because people are.
I mean,
so,
and I feel bad that cop got shot the other night. I
Right.
mean, I feel terrible. He was a young guy, but he was a black cop.
Mhm.
And he was shot by a white guy. I hate that it turns racist, but people do say that. Like, what's up with that? And I mean, no, that's where I mean all lives. Like, I don't want cops to be killed either,
Right.
but I don't want people to be killed by them either. Like, what is the deal?
Right. Nobody should die.
For
I mean,
what? For what?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I
I mean, unless they are going to a better place, then they are lucky. But
Yeah.
we'll all find out someday.
Yeah, but still going back to like the which side are you on question.
Yeah.
But what happens is people's personal beliefs is what clouds their judgment. We've seen this over and over again. Because if you come out and say Black Lives Matter, people instantly jump into, well, what about these black people that kill each other in gang fights and whatever? It's like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about if you have a child walking down the street and someone thinks he's a threat for some reason, like a 7-year-old, and shoots him.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
It happens in Cleveland.
It
I was
happens-
in Cleveland like when something like that happened.
Exactly.
It happens too often.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a very touchy subject. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard to say, like, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Yes, we openly admit that all lives matter, but you also have to blame the media, too, because they alter certain things as well. So you don't
Yes.
know
Yeah,
what
it's
to
stupid
trust
a
and what to
little bit.
believe.
Yeah.
But then again, when it comes to believe, you have to believe the lie sometimes,
Yeah, it's true.
So, do you use social media to let the world know what you're doing, and how do you do it? Is it
You do
YouTube? Is it
everything.
Facebook? Is it like, how do people see this?
The main
without being
problem that I think has happened with the advancement of our electronic communications and everything, people have used that as like, that's the one thing we need to do, and they forgot about the basic things we
Right.
should do about calling people, sending
Yeah,
snail
it's
mail,
actually getting out
talking
there.
to them, getting out in the street. So we need to get people back into the streets. That's how these things are going to change for the better.
Well, that movie Fruitville Station too is another one that
Exactly.
I love that movie, but I hate that movie.
Right.
I love it so much, but I hate it. I hate it so much because it's heartbreaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Subject change. You have another female presidential candidate to vote for, Jill Stein from the Green Party.
Oh.
So look into her. I'll send you info on her.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And what's your website? How can people find you and get involved?
Well, the main site I'm promoting today is for Rise Up October, so it's riseupoctober.org. Where we're always asking for people to help volunteer. This march doesn't end tomorrow.
Good.
Tomorrow is just the beginning of it.
Excellent.
And we're going to, it's not like when you went to D.C. and you're like, oh, okay, that was nice, we marched, then we'll go.
Yeah.
And
No.
it's not like Wall Street. This is
Exactly.
like something really with a purpose.
This is something
and it's
with a
organized
purpose.
properly.
Right, to get people to rise up
Yeah.
and say no more to
It's
the
an everyday thing. It's not. This
So it is
Exactly.
National Boston Cream Pie, which we have
Oh, man.
Brooklyn
Oh.
cheese
So you
pie.
made that. Ruth.
So please take a piece if
So
you
how
like.
does this work?
You just take it and dip in the cream,
Dip in
man.
the cream.
Yeah. And now, do you have a skeleton in your?
Oh my
sweet
God, I forgot
closet?
about the skeleton.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I forgot what skeleton I used last time, so I just make sure I don't do that.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Here's a good one. This is
Okay.
very timely with the subject. When I was younger, after my first interaction with a really racist, crazy cop that threatened to beat me and leave me for dead in the park, I wanted to be a cop so I could stop that kind of nonsense from going on. I would have been that good cop probably got shot in the face.
Oh.
But yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to do when I was younger.
And
And
now?
that was after being abused by a cop because I just
Yeah.
know something's wrong if you have something like that on the force.
I know.
You
Good
kept
for
that
you.
inside you, and now you're doing good in your own
Yeah.
way. So.
Exactly.
And so,
So take a friendship light.
oh yeah, so tell me about the friendship light, or I have to
So,
watch the beginning of the show to
Yeah,
see
well,
that.
friendship lights represents your own dreams. I invented it from a dream myself. Of people from all walks of life and all nationalities united in peace and we're holding these lights. And the way it works, the light stays on for up to a year. You never shut it off. When it goes out all the way, you make a wish.
Okay.
And legend has it, because my dream came true when I created them, that yours will as well. And it's a reminder every time you look at that light of your own dreams and goals in life. So
That's
that's for
awesome.
you.
So you mean I could marry multiple wives and Rue could be my
Well,
other
if
wife?
that's your dream, I mean, you know, you
Push
just
a
have to
button,
believe
Ms.
hard.
You gotta go to Utah for that.
All right.
James Lane! We love you, James Lane. Rise up.
It's a life, fun time, and full of surprises.